Oh, fuck.
Get that like button.
Yeah, of course
Get
we
that
gotta.
like button.
Of course we gotta start this stream with screaming and weird
Is
ass
that
noises.
Did you forget who's in your stream?
That's kind of the thing. I've been thinking about this over the last, actually all day today. I feel like I'm gonna regret asking these particular clowns to join on the stream.
Well, now that you said it, we're gonna make you regret it.
Yeah.
That's
great.
fair. Yeah,
Perfect.
exactly.
Fantastic.
Fine.
Well, welcome everybody to Gab Hominem. I'm sorry we're starting late, but my work decided to call me in just as I'm clocking out to go and help with another place a couple blocks down the street, and they told me, no, we need you to stay as long as possible. Please, just let me go so I can do this thing at this time. It's like, okay, fine. I showed up with like 6 minutes to spare to get everything set up, and even then, I feel like I'm half-assing this right now.
Oh my god. Wow, you really got this handled for 6 minutes ahead. Damn.
Especially with how inconvenient my current setup is, because where I'm doing the podcast from is the same as my recording space for voice acting, and it is a pain to set up. So,
Ouch. Yeah.
so I got it. So welcome to Gab Hominem, everybody, where we're talking with people who work somewhere in the entertainment realm, and yes, I do call fan community managers. Let's use that term loosely. For
Damn, troll chaos. What do you mean?
Wow, called out already.
So, to me, people who work with fan communities are also a part of the entertainment realm because a fan community is obviously fans of something we all enjoy. We've already talked with people on this show who are people who work with the communities of Hasman Hotel and Hell of a Boss. We've talked with people from the Lackadaisy, community, Sir Mayhem, and the list will continue going on for as long as I keep finding really interesting people with unique experiences in their different fan bases and fan communities. And it's interesting for me because this is the first time I've had returning guests from, well, I think last time, I'm not sure if any of you guys were mods at all for the Hasbin fan cord at the time when we did the last one.
I was, and then I quit.
It happens.
Yeah.
Everything's in flux.
Well, either way, you guys are still helping out with fan communities, and I think the one we're on with you guys today is the HuniCord server fans of the HuniCast, which has started only the last couple of years and has just kind of blown up into its own thing, and then also spiraled into its own other thing, several other things actually, with including Farfetched, which is already starting to gain its own steam quite well. Damn, I'm tripping over my words right now. I'm that exhausted.
Oh, you poor thing.
Yeah.
Get it together, God.
I can't. So, this is going to be interesting because some of these moderators from the HuniCast or from the HuniCord. Okay, so you guys moderate the HuniCast too. I just remembered.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do.
Have also been community managers for other fan communities. It's just now it's a little bit more general, but that also comes with its own, let's say, difficulties. Or actually probably challenges would be a better word, not quite as harsh. And so because of that, we've got joining us today from the HuniStaff, returning guests, Mama Luigi and SaucyProcess, and then...
Hello.
Okay.
Luigi, God. Oh.
Listen, I said I was gonna make him regret it. We mentioned it's a requirement to be on the staff team that you have to be just extra gay.
Oh, great.
That's true.
yeah.
It is. It's a requirement.
I'm going to fail that requirement immediately then. But yeah, to that effect, we've also got first-time guests on the show, Astral Dragons, and I think it was Teddy with a flamethrower on the HuniCord, but otherwise known as Velvet.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Question: why do you have a flamethrower?
Okay, so the reason why it's Teddy with a flamethrower is if anybody on here has watched Alternate History Hub, there's an episode called I believe it was like the election that ruined everything, or sorry, if the election that ruined everything didn't happen, and it was about like how Woodrow Wilson was a shitty person, essentially, and what might have happened if he hadn't won the 1914 election. And part of it was that if Teddy Roosevelt had won a third term, he would have most likely tried to fan the flames of war to help us get into the war faster, which actually would have most likely would have caused a better outcome. And part of it is just him with a flamethrower just throwing more fire onto the fire. And it just slowly comes up with this thing, and then it just slowly fades in with bully.
My Pokemon, Teddy Roosevelt, uses napalm.
Oh, great.
And it's one of the few things that have made me laugh so uncontrollably hard.
I didn't know there was a lot of lore behind that name, but yeah, we have weird
I wasn't expecting that.
We try, as you can tell, just to keep with the theme of the podcast, we try to create a work environment that is, fun and inviting, not only to just everybody else in the community, which is the most important, but also to each other, and that's why we're super giggly all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I still recall the last time I was with you guys. It was rather than Astral and Velvet, it was Posh and Wiki there, and that just the shit posting that was going on in the background was just intense.
Yeah.
And I recall bringing up a question of how the hell are you guys able to pull all of this off while in a voice call talking about something actually serious?
A coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that we were sitting there and like we would pipe up and it's like, yeah, this really important thing happened, and it really took me a long while to process, and through that I became a better person while posting pictures of like fish in.
Well, that's another
chat.
thing that I was mentioning to Ashley last night. I was like, I'm pretty sure everyone on the team has ADHD.
Oh, I think that's also a requirement. But
Requirement.
yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it. Oh my god. So, yeah, that's why we're doing this, because some of them have always been. Actually, I think all of you have always been members with the HuniStaff for a while. But that's kind of why I decided to name this particular podcast HuniStaff 2, just a Boogaloo.
Yeah.
A Boogaloo. Just one.
Just
Not the
one.
electric one.
No, not
A
electric.
A singular Boogaloo.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Singular Boogaloo.
One.
It's a Boogaloo, just not the type everybody expected.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I think I recall we got a little bit into the background of Mama Luigi and SaucyProcess before, but I guess we can go through it really quick with you two. But basically the question for everybody is, where are you guys from, and what kind of experiences did you guys have from wherever you're from that kind of led to where you're at today?
Luigi, you want to go first?
Fuck. Okay.
Put you on the
We're all
spot.
putting Luigi on the spot.
Rude. You pick on the sick one, why don't you?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
Luigi is ill right now.
So I'm still in Utah, believe it or not. Since last time, but since a year ago since I was last year? Lots of things have changed. I've talked with a lot of different people about different things. I'm starting to get some networking done, which is fun. Hopefully, sometime soon I can talk more about a game that I might actually be working on.
Ooh.
So that's exciting.
Ooh.
Other than that, not much has changed since the last time I was here. We should let Saucy go first.
You just went the second first.
Next,
Okay.
sorry, I'm tired.
First.
Next.
Throwing Saucy to the
Luigi, you can
to
tell
the
when
werewolf.
he's sick. But yeah, hi, I'm Brandon. I am based in Louisville, Kentucky, just around that area, metropolitan-wise, and I have been using the time since the pandemic has started to transition from stage acting, which is what I did for 8 to 10 years, to predominantly recording work and voiceover stuff. And through that experience and just the pandemic itself, reaching out to other people virtually, where I met these people here, these lovely, wonderful people in chat, including you, Ark. And that's kind of how this happened. It was all very accidental and very much fueled by a global pandemic. Yeah.
And I think the pandemic has been responsible for a lot of things, good and bad. Good more in the social sense, as it kind of forced people to start trying to seek some kind of human contact, digital or otherwise. But that's really about it, to be honest.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Although I will say, one thing I was definitely enjoying about the pandemic, when my job decided to start calling people back in a limited capacity, I work on a commute. I have to drive like 30 minutes up the highway to get to work. And what I realized, I had only been working there a month, but that was long enough for me to notice the clear night and day difference between pre-pandemic and post-pandemic traffic, which in California surprisingly turned out to be almost non-existent.
Wow.
It was very surprising to me, and I was really enjoying it until things started opening up again, and I'm just like, damn it.
That was kind of the same around here. I worked all through the pandemic, and I was just like, man, the traffic, like the lack of traffic during the pandemic. I was like, man, this is nice.
So now we're going to move on to our new guests with this episode. I think we're going to start with Astral on this one.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Astral. I'm an admin on the server, and kind of what led to me being here. So I'm from Idaho, the magical potato land, and I was at university, and I was in the fan chord for a brief stint, and I think this was back in 2017 or 2018. A person called Ashley Nichols posted like, "Hey, I made a fan server just now. Would anybody be interested in joining?" And I was just like, I'd seen one or two of the cleanup streams, so I was just like, oh yeah, sure, that sounds like fun. And I joined, and I haven't been able to leave the basement since.
It was a trap.
It was a trap. It was just hilarious, just because. So I've been on the server since about 3 days after it was created. So seeing it go from like maybe 50 people tops to 11,000 people. 11,000 people in the past few years, it's been an experience for sure.
That's a way of putting it, at least.
Mm-hmm.
It's because the server I have seen it just exploding since I joined it. No, actually, I didn't even join it until I think late last year, and even then, I think it was around like 5,000 people at the time. I cannot remember.
Let me tell you the exact date. Hang on. I got you.
Oh, God.
I'll tell you the exact date.
Didn't we look at it yesterday?
He's got that
Yeah,
power.
yeah, we did. There.
Oh, God.
You joined.
I forgot they have that power.
No,
we do.
Fill the dirt.
We're gonna
joined
cancel
the
Ark on his
server-
own stream.
You joined the server exactly on May 27th, 2020 at 7:52 p.m. I don't know, EST. So that's
Damn, I've already broken a
The
year
weather
on that
was
server?
cloudy.
yeah, you broke it.
No.
Yeah, you did.
It was
Oh my God.
Holy
a
shit.
cloudy day with 32% chance humidity.
I think I only ended up joining the server because I was also part of Ashley's Patreon at the time, and I didn't realize I could
Right.
join it until somebody pointed out, dude, you're part of the Patreon. You already have access to the server. You just look at this link, and I'm like, hold on, what?
Yeah, it's just like, just poke the link, nerd.
Yeah. Just do it.
Just do it.
Hey, you gotta note to people, pay attention. There are details you will miss that are really good for you.
Yes.
So with that,
It's like, learn how to read. Gosh, no, I'm just kidding.
learn how to use your eyes. Just at all.
Learn how to fucking read.
So with that, we're gonna move on to Velvet.
Lol. I don't know how to answer the question.
You don't need to share specifics. Just if you want to share any details, it's completely up to you.
Essentially, I joined the fan cord first. I found Ashley's streams like I I think it was like the sidebar after one of Viv's post has been released streams. And it kept popping up in my YouTube recommended. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll fucking watch it. Uh, and I think also one of my friends, actually, I think the main reason why I actually started watching the Honeycast is that one of my friends was sending me stream clips. Um, like back in the Yeehaw days of when Ashley actually used to stream the Honeycast.
Damn.
Call out post.
And people made animatics for it. That's how I found it, and then I started watching it. From there, I joined the fan cord, and after a little bit, I joined the honey cord. I started moderating on the fan cord first, and then I think I noticed that like Heck Boob and Monstrous were also in the honey cord. So I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll vibe here more. And at some point, I joined the staff, and I've been stuck in the basement ever since.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at this rate,
we've
I
all
don't.
just been tied in the basement.
I don't. At this rate, I don't think any of you are going to escape the basement.
Absolutely not.
Probably
no,
not.
Yeah, absolutely the fuck not.
Watch this cut to like a year later, and on the page "Poorly Aged Things on Twitter," this clip just plays. Something so bad happens to one of. Watch it be me, and this is ironic right now. Just like yeah. We'll see. We'll come shortly to that. We'll see.
Until we eventually get to the reporting of how the Great Lizard Raid freed the HuniStaff, at least for a little bit.
Oh yeah. What the fuck you're talking about?
Luigi died in the Triwizard tournament.
I was referring to the I think it was the Lackadaisy charity stream.
Which
was
bunnies versus lizards thing?
Yeah.
Why did okay? I don't know. I got Harry Potter from that. You said wizards, and I was
I
like,
died.
You said wizards and not wizard.
Did I say wizards?
I died in
No,
the
you said
lizard
lizard.
shit.
My brain was just like, you said wizard.
Harry Potter reference.
And this is one thing that I'm pretty sure will bar me from ever being able to get a yes from Ashley for this stream in the future is that I took the lizard side of that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
in fact, I'm gonna leave right now. Goodbye.
Oh shit.
Bye, Luigi.
No.
All right. So, we know about our moderators and admins from the Honeycord. We know a little bit about where they're from and how they got to where they're at now. Let's start trying to paint a picture of what the daily life is in moderating the Honeycord, which I'm already just like bunkering down, flak helmet and flak jacket on right now, just ready for the absolute terror that I'm about to hear about. Good and bad.
You know that one video by Beluga, Life of a Discord mod? It's like that. Just like wake up at 6 a.m. Just like pour water into cereal, take a few bites, phone pings, run to phone. Someone's posting memes in general.
That's exactly what it is.
It's not like a cohesive work environment. I sure hope nobody sits down and is like, I'm going to crack my fingers and purposefully sit here for 2 hours staring at the chats just to do that. It's very relaxed.
Here's the thing. Sometimes at night I do that. However, I mean, I go in with the intention to do that, and then I kind of like look up from brain fog, and then it's 5 a.m. and I'm just like, why was I looking up like dinosaur, like that one TV show, The Land of the Lost or whatever.
Land Before Time.
Land Before Time.
Land Before Time. Yeah, that's the one. I was just like, why the fuck am I looking up that? It's like 5 a.m.
Good show.
You fell asleep with autoplay on YouTube, and you ended up on the weird like the people making primal huts side of YouTube. Yeah. That's what moderating is like. It's I guess. I will say, I will make the distinction that Astro here and maybe a couple other moderators, the one specifically like Velicus in Australia, they stay up way too late. Way too late.
I
so
can't
they're in the
sleep,
next
man.
Y'all are crazy. So they end up taking care of whatever happens during the night.
Well,
but it's
no,
more
so
relaxing.
Velicus is in Upside Down land. So Velicus, it's not even that late for them. It's only like 10 in the
Okay,
morning
but they
or
still
whatever.
stay up late for their time.
But-
Okay, yeah, that's very
Okay,
true.
but in fairness, what Velicus does is that he's on a fucking American sleep schedule in Australia.
In Australia, yep.
Which is scary to
Which
think
is
about.
Scary and impressive. But yeah, so in terms of like moderation, I think kind of just my usual routine is I'll just kind of comb through the chats and then I'll pop in and say hi to everyone and then say hi to the fellow basement dwellers and then pop off on some ADHD thing for the next couple of hours and then come back and then see that someone posted NSFW and goofs again and then just sigh, grab a Corona, like the beer.
Wait,
Grab
where's
the
that reaction
virus,
image I made you? 1
grab
second, I have to find it.
Grab the
To
corona
grab
of the
a
sun.
whole entire coronavirus, shove it in my mouth.
True. That's how it works.
But yeah, no, it's fun. I really love moderating for the server. I love hanging out with everyone in the server. We've just been getting a lot of raiders lately, so I've just like been that spiked huckleberry lemonade in the fridge is looking real good right now.
Oof.
I
Sounds
just
so good.
ran out of beer in my fridge, so I'm like, damn it.
I'm just drinking some chamomile tea right now. It helps with my nerves.
Share?
I am I'm not drinking anything right now because I drank a lot of water earlier and I was like, I'm done. But I am sniffing this candle, which has the best name of
Okay.
any candle ever. Yeah, it's good. It's
Just right up
banana,
against your nose.
banana nut
Saucy,
bread
what?
candle. It's fine. No, here we go.
Just-
It's a banana nut
he's
bread
just
candle.
Saucy's just sitting there snorting a candle, like just
That's what
snorting
I've been
candle.
doing. I've
While
been
we're on
doing
this-
all the wax up my nose.
He's moonlighting a candle right
I
now.
can't
and it's
imagine that
hazelnut.
being very good for you.
Do you know what it's called?
What is that?
It's called D's Nuts.
Damn.
I wish I was
Ban you.
joking.
Damn
Oh,
it, Saucy.
That is legit the name of it?
Yeah, I posted on Twitter a little bit ago. Hey,
What?
why did I post those?
Oh my god.
Really?
Companies need
Oh
to
my
stop
God.
leaning into the memes. Like, it's funny to do it online when you're advertising something, but if it's legit the name of a product, stop. Get some help.
Oh, dude, do you want to know the name of the candle company that produces this
Yes,
one?
please,
Oh,
dear
no.
God.
It's the Candle Daddy.
I love it.
Holy shit.
So
I'm
they're
gonna-
really leaning into
the
it.
product
My-
right
Man,
now.
I'm speaking of outdated memes. So the other day I picked up Ace Attorney 4 again, as one does, and I was playing
Okay.
through the game, and one of the characters' names is a play on the it's the meme, like the "Oh really owl" meme, and I just sat there and I was like, man, that really was a meme back then, huh?
Yeah, apparently.
Just like it's just the snowy owl just doing the "oh really," and I'm just like, man, memes have evolved so much.
No kidding.
True.
I'm
Just like
scared
Nick-
of where memes are going now.
I am
My
scared
internal
too.
thought on memes is like that progression, that like meme progression chart where it's just like the advice animals and then like screenshots of stuff and then just E.
Yeah, it's
Just
just like
dissolves
it's like
into single letters.
It's like that one video I saw where it was just like memes back in 2005, and it was just like this is the sneaky salamander, and like I took a water cup and I put soda in it, sneaky salamander, and then it just skipped to now, and it was just like you want to know how to make a funky fresh meme? Put a bunch of shadow demons in a hallway and caption it with me and the boys at 3 a.m. looking for beans.
Which
That's
is
what it
which is
is.
true.
Don't get,
It's true. It's
don't,
true.
don't get me
It's
wrong.
true.
I love absurdity as a form of humor, but when it becomes just the main style of a meme, I'm just like, can we please try something else? I can't follow this, and I don't get it.
No, I
I'm
will
like-
say this. For thousands of years in human history, absurdism has been funny. One of the oldest cave paintings that they have is like what just big giant men leaning over other like figures. And it is just like, wait, oh my god, this is evidence of aliens. It's just like, no, they thought it was funny.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah,
It's
it's like
good
it looks
shit.
hilarious, and it's just like, wait, that's really. It's like you're looking. It's like now this classical art figure, like David Attenborough is standing there, just it's like now this figure here, and it's just like no, it's just the big shadow man leaning over that, and probably below it they had something spelled out in I don't know cave grease. That's
So
just,
what you're
Cave
telling me is,
Grease.
so what you're telling me is that humankind has been memeing for tens of thousands of years.
Well,
Of
yeah.
course.
Oh,
but Richard
definitely. Well, it's
Dawkins
like
just came up with the
even-
name of it, memetics.
Oh my
Even
god.
the
It's been an idea for
Egyptians, like,
years.
Don't.
Yep.
So I must not be the only one who's seen this post, but I saw a post and it was just like, with archaeologists, they uncovered like Egyptian writing and everything, and it was just like it was a straight up shit post on the wall, but in hieroglyphics, and I was just like, man, humanity just really hasn't changed.
All right.
Nope.
So
Okay, but so like one of the best things about
anyways,
like Pompeii when they were looking through like the wreckage and shit is that at some point they realized that there's just a bunch of dicks all over the floor and the walls. People are just drawing dicks, and like the Grecians and,
They're
stuff.
funny
They
shapes.
were the ones drawing the dicks.
It's just fascinating. So anyways,
is.
off of our ADHD rambling to how
Yes.
did we get here?
yeah.
Sorry, Ark.
All right. We this is actually kind of an interesting part to launch off of, in that we've been doing memes for a long fucking time, and you guys are moderating for the Honeycord, which, if anybody, I'm sure everybody here has seen the Honeycast. It is just typically 2 to 4 hours of human shit posting from one subject to another, and then it just evolves in its own way in the Honeycord. Hi, Nixwe.
In chat, yeah, I just saw that.
Ew, Nixwe.
What is it like trying to manage the memes?
Okay, so
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
I have seen some of the memes that have shown up, especially in the as it's now gone, the more mature side of the Honeycord.
Mhm.
Some of this,
Oh,
some of
boy.
this I have seen people have posted it in the more general area, probably in the more obscure parts, but still general. And I
Right.
sit there looking at this, and I'm like, this is Rule 34 on somebody's OC that actually does, or the OC doesn't exist, but the person does, and they use it for everything they do. But they're still posting in, open general for everybody areas. And I've seen Hellboy himself having to come down on this person. And
Right.
this is what I'm thinking of is not just limited to Rule 34. Memes
Absolutely not.
themselves are nuts nowadays.
Oh, definitely.
No,
I
you're
was
Right.
completely.
I was
right.
gonna say in relation to that, I think it was in the admin chat where Ashley posted it, but she mentioned like there was somebody that was just like constantly drawing Rule 34 and tagging Ashley on Twitter
Oh
like
my
a funny
God.
bun, and we were all sitting there and we were just like heads in our hands, just
sobbing.
like, man. That's kind of our
No.
boss that you're drawing porn of. That's really kind of uncomfortable.
It's really nasty.
dude.
Yeah, and it's also like whenever it came to that, it was always very strict.
Yeah.
At least
Oh,
since I've been on the staff,
definitely.
like, where it's like, hey, these are real people. This is their drawings that people use to like show their images, like of them, like their, I guess, personas online. It's like this is what they do. Like this is who they are, and to do that is this is a literal extension of them, and therefore it is just dead wrong.
Yeah, and even when the NSFW channels were still because nowadays they're kind of just an adult vibe spot, like kind of where they can take a break from the younger folk. But when we were still allowing for posting NSFW, when I made the first draft of the NSFW section rules, the first one I wrote down was like no NSFW of like real life people, especially not like Ashley or Michael. Very, very specific on that because I'd already had to deal with it.
Yeah. There's unfortunately like a lot of people who just don't seem to understand that boundary. Like I can kind of understand when people are doing it of just like personas, but like you didn't ask consent, and that's, I mean, I don't really want to equate it to anything, but I think you guys like get what I'm picking up, what I'm putting down.
Definitely.
It's not it's non-consensual, and you wouldn't do that like the same way that you wouldn't like go up to some rando that you barely know and I don't know, like try to touch their boobs. You shouldn't do that to someone's persona that you don't know.
Topic, but my brain just went, it's like, well, you wouldn't, and then my brain said, you wouldn't download a car. You wouldn't download those old 90s ads. Like, it's the same principle where it's just like, I guess in this federal sense, it should be a felony to do that to somebody.
It technically could be true nowadays with the advent of 3D printing.
Wait. Don't try.
Yeah,
no, don't do that.
You could download a car and print it.
Oh, I've seen that before. It's just like, you wouldn't download a car.
Wouldn't download a car.
Bitch, I might.
You could quite literally 3D print a car.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, given enough time, like, and if you put the parts together, yeah.
Well, if it's an electric car.
Yeah.
It's your own Gundam car.
There's already shitloads of people 3D printing RC cars. I know a couple of websites for it. They're nuts.
Because I'm pretty sure I've already seen like I could have sworn I've seen a video where it was just like they were 3D printing parts for a car and they actually managed to assemble it and stuff. I don't know if it ran or anything, but like it's just wild to think about.
Yes, Garfield.
Like they never would have. Oh yeah, so Garfield is Velvet's cat, and he's my beloved.
He's your beloved. Come here, Garfield.
Yeah.
Come here.
Garfield beloved.
That's
He's sitting on the couch chair right now, and he meowed at me. I'm gonna pick you up, you little bitch.
If I recall, Velvet, don't you live with Posh?
I do.
Yes, that's
He's
why.
right next to me right now.
Yeah, that's why Garfield sounded so familiar.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Ginger so I'm sitting on my bed right now, and Ginger is curled up like a little cinnamon roll next to me. Hi, honey.
I have to keep my cat out of my room because I have leopard geckos in my room, and
same.
My cat is very interested in the leopard geckos, and not in the good way.
Oh no!
I thought you said you had leprosy in your room, but leopard geckos is much better. Don't have leprosy.
Yeah, I'd be a little confused.
Brandon, Saucy, you need to get your ears taken for a recalibration.
I'm totally listening. It's what's in between my ears that's the issue.
Get it recalibrated.
You can't recalibrate what isn't there.
Wow. As you can see, we love to poke fun at each other. Now allow me to post my big expose on Luigi on Twitter. Oh no.
Do it.
I'm canceling Saucy on Twitter.
Finally.
It's well overdue.
Please everyone cancel Saucy on Twitter.
But yeah, I was gonna say, I have a leopard gecko in my room as well. Thankfully, Ginger and my other hell demon of a cat, Sparta, aren't very interested in her.
It's a very fitting name.
Yeah, his name is Sparta, so he's like the thing with Lilo when she's like sitting by the bed and she's just like, I want an angel, like the nicest angel you have, and then Stitch like comes down and everything and just maniacally cackles. That was the case with Sparta because I think I was 13 at the time or something like that, and I'd just seen like this cute little video called the Mean Kitty Song, and in it the cat was named Sparta, and it was just about this little kitten that just like bites and fights and like tussles around, and it's just an overall little shit cat. And I just thought to myself, because my cat Casey had recently passed, and I was just like, man, I want a little horrible cat just like that. And a month later, I hear crying on my doorstep. I step outside and there's a kitten there. And I reach down to pet him, and he chomps my hand so hard that it bleeds.
Oh.
And I was just like, oh, you're perfect.
Oh my god.
It was free cat. So, well, like, we looked for his owners for a year, but he was 5 months old. He was already fixed. He was already, like, his front paws were declawed. We just think that somebody just must have dumped him, and he's been in our lives ever since. He's a little brat, and he's a total little shit. And if you walk into the house, he comes up and he doesn't just walk up to you, he struts up to you like, what are you doing in my area?
He knows he's the shit.
You're not allowed to touch
up to
him.
you in Japanese.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
JoJo walk, yeah.
I can't scratch the shit out of you if I don't get closer.
Well, like, so you're not allowed to touch him first. He has to sniff you. If you try to touch him first, he will smack you and hiss at you. If he starts rubbing on you, then you're okay to touch him. But he's definitely, like, in charge of the situation when somebody walks in. He's just such a little brat, and I love him so much. He's so cuddly when he wants to be.
I'm starting to realize another requirement for the HuniStaff. You have to own either, in support of Ashley, a cat, because she's obsessed with them, or in direct opposition to her face, and she will respect you for it, own a reptile, specifically a lizard of some kind.
Uh-oh.
Okay, but you say that. Ashley also loves reptiles.
I know, I saw the pictures of Butterscotch, which captured my heart.
I've got Spike in his tank over there.
Yeah, isn't Spike a little
true.
freaking smartass?
Spike's a little dick.
Oh,
I love him.
Spike beloved.
I love that Luigi's internet connection censored her for her.
Wow,
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Spike's
It really
a little
did.
Spike's a little
is what it
dickhead.
said. There we go.
Fuck you,
happened.
Discord.
Oh, it's funny. I think it was just because Luigi turned on.
Turn the camera off.
And so that's what happened. It's funny because like I own either. I don't have a cat. I don't have a lizard. Even though I love reptiles and I love cats, I just own a werewolf.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me?
Boris?
Well,
Jonah doesn't
Boris,
count,
get down from
Aussie.
there.
Oh.
Astral, I think you'll actually like the story of how I chose Freddy. So like I was feeling hella depressed and lonely. This was before pandemic. So I was like, fuck man, I need a pet. And so I called my parents just like, what do you guys think about if I get like a dog? And they're just like, no, don't do that. You should get a cat. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I look up some pet shelters and I look for like some cats that I was interested in. And I find one that wasn't Freddy, but Freddy was there at the shelter. And I ended up not getting that one because they had a lot of health issues that I couldn't pay for. But as I was getting off the stepladder, because they were on top of the fridge, the cat I was looking at, Freddy, unbeknownst to me, was like down behind, like at the foot of the step stool. So I accidentally step on him.
Oh.
And he screams and runs away. And then I feel really bad. And I'm still looking around at cats. And it's just like, So one of the shelter workers goes like, hey, you want to give him a treat? And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. And so she gives me the treat bag and I shake it and he comes running out immediately.
As it should be.
As it should
And,
be.
and he
Just
takes
like-
his treat and then I pet him and he like crawls on my lap and I was like, ah yes, perfect. This one's mine.
You are mine.
Perfect.
And then Garfield I got from Posh and he's a dumbass.
Oh yeah.
Which one, Posh or
Perfect.
Garfield?
Yes.
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 Damn. And that's the ultimate closer to that section. Just
Yeah.
boom, Seinfeld theme
for
plays.
sure.
Boom,
Just
boom, boom.
again, we like jabbing at each other.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
great.
I think that's actually kind of one of the important things. Like with the other podcasts that I do, we like to promote indie creators, and it's just a group of us, and our guest is usually somebody who has their own independent project to create to promote. Now, with the group of us, we between all our weekly streams, we love to just poke fun at each other. I'm the oldest person of the group, so I'm basically known as the boomer of of the podcast. I'm 29.
Mhm.
Ayo.
The
But
boomer of the podcast.
I will still perpetuate the boomer zoomer war. Because there's a thing in our own server where we do all of our planning and all that. The general chat, like the main general chat for the group. You know how you can tag a description of the chat room in Discord?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that, every now and then, I gotta double check it actually. We'll change that description. It has our weekly meeting times, and then below that it'll have something like fucking Zoomers or fucking Boomers, depending on who last updated it. And it's just a back and forth between me and whoever else does that. But that's kind of one of the big things with moderating is that you do also. I think I talked with Knox about this one before, in that you do work with people to keep a good, fun, open, and safe and comfortable environment for everybody that's a part of the server or the community in general. But that's also kind of one of the big things about it is you have to be able to work with the other people in the mod team to be able to accomplish the goal. How difficult can it be sometimes with that? Because I'm sure it is quite fun for you guys on a regular basis, but I'm sure there's also times where tension happens. But it seems like that does get resolved. But how often does it seem to come up? And does it seem any different from how other friendships or relationships of any kind function from normal people, or rather people who aren't mods?
Mm-hmm.
I think that being a mod, it inherently, like, I would say that pretty much everybody on the team has some level of anxiety, some worse than others. And a lot of moderation is having to just push through and overcome that anxiety, especially when you have to address like bad things that are happening in the server. So to an extent, I mean, tension does happen. It's happened to us a number of times. It just happens. But I would say like being on a moderation team, it's made me a lot better at like being able to communicate those issues that I have. It still might take a while, but the fact that I'm communicating it at all is a much better like is a much bigger improvement to how I used to be, which would be like letting something fester for years.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Right.
I was mentioning the other day in one of my classes that I realized that over the past 3 years, my skills with communication have definitely been boosted a lot just from this job, because there is a lot of communication work that has to happen. There's a lot of communication that happens between the mod team. There's communication that happens between the admins that has to be passed down and then sorted through, and then there's communication that happens with the users on the server, like in public or in DMs, ranging from like basic friendly interaction and shit posting to like, hey, so we need to have a really serious talk. And sometimes we have had to have very serious conversations with users in terms of mental health. I know that I think all of us here have had to talk somebody down from a pretty bad state.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
Couple times.
And yeah, I was gonna say, in terms of our relationships with each other on the server, it's it's a coworker type situation, but genuinely, we've mentioned this a lot of times. The staff team is a lot like family. Like in meetings, of course, we'll have serious time and everything, but I mean, again, we all have ADHD, and so we'll bounce around from topic to topic. And occasionally Hellboy will come in screaming something TF2 something call out
something
I have
shit on the couch
something.
again.
In the couch.
Shit in the
Right.
couch, pardon. But yeah, it's just a lovely environment. And I think I've noticed a lot of people are just like, oh, Ashley and Michael are really scary. And then Ashley last night when we were in a meeting, she was like, hey guys, I'm so sorry. I was on mute this whole time. The boys keep coming in and talking about how they were shitting. And then Michael showed me this video that made him shit better. And
How Dave was just running
this
in
is
and
the
crop
whole
dusting
ordeal.
Ashley.
Oh yeah,
they're-
Dave kept coming in doing that.
I think it's just funny because I'm just like, everyone's just like, oh, the staff team's intimidating. Oh, Ashley, Michael, and Dave are intimidating. No, we're not. We're just people.
not.
We're just
It's just
vibing.
people.
Right, and it's
Yeah.
like,
There have been times, like there was a thread a while back on the HuniStaff Twitter where it was just me posting different pictures of Michael's face. That was a call that we were in Hivemind at like 1 a.m. or some shit. Like it was like 2 or 3 a.m. at that point. And he just kept making faces. And Ashley, instead of getting on camera, she would just post these she would have like whatever program that is where when you turn on the camera it's just an image. And they would be these bass boosted pictures of like somebody just staring into the camera.
It was like when I went over to Seattle to visit Ashley and Michael about 2 years ago, I think we were driving home from SaucyProcess at some point, and we saw a McDonald's, and so like Michael and I went McDonald's in the back seat, and then Ashley looked us dead in the eyes, pulled up, and she said, "Hey, I'd like a black coffee, please." And both of us just sat there like, "No." Thankfully, she did let us order, thankfully, but we were just sitting there in absolute despair. So in case anyone ever wanted to know, like, what the meme, like, who's who on the meme, yeah, Ashley's definitely the person who pulls up and is like, gets a black coffee.
yeah,
My God.
it's canon. But slightly back on topic.
Yeah.
So I've been told a bunch of times it's just a thing on the internet, right? Like lots of IRL people have been like, that's just a thing on the internet. It can't be like a serious thing. And I'm like, no, this gives you serious experience in working with a team, and honestly, it's been the best team I've worked with, because ever since
Deadass, I literally just asked like a couple people on the team to be professional references.
right.
Nice.
Like,
Yeah,
man, I don't.
Like, I've had Chloe ask me about that for the Dream mods, which recently ratioed us on Twitter.
No,
No,
shit.
not at all. We ratioed them 2-1. I keep making this joke. It's like Chloe. Sorry, just to very quick tangent. Chloe responded. It's just like, it's an honor to be ratioed by the Dream Mods. And I took various screen caps where it was just like her tweet, her reply to that, then zoomed in on the word ratioed, and then the entire post that showed we had like at the time 56 likes or something like that, and they had like 20.
Jesus.
Wow.
And it kept like that. It never backed down. I thought that was
God. But yeah, I was gonna also mention on topic. I noticed in comparison to other teams, because when Luigi mentioned like this is the best team that she's been on, this is definitely the best team I've been on. I think about a year ago I applied to be a moderator on a different server, and I was a mod on there for a little while, and I kept going into the chat management channels and they kept fighting, and I was just like, why? I don't get why everyone's fighting. Like this is so weird, because it's like when we have an issue in the staff team, you know, like we sit down and we talk it out, and it's not like a passive aggressive thing that keeps coming back. You know, we kind of we work it out, you know, like normal adults. But I kept going into this. I kept going into this chat, and they just kept just tearing at each other. Like it was the head admin just tearing apart like the younger moderators, and the younger moderators trying to get back like with passive aggressive stuff. And finally I was like, yeah, I gotta leave. And I was just like, I was stunned. I didn't really realize how good of a thing that we have in the honey cord until I went in there. I was just like, this is terrible. What's going on?
It's so surreal knowing that, isn't it, though? Because like you see other teams compared to ours, well, not to like compare people, but like be just aware that we run so much differently than other servers.
Yes,
and it just works
as well.
Because it's not just work for us. We're all friends. Like we all hang out outside of, you know, having to do moderation work.
Well, that's kind of the big thing that I've realized, is that you kind of just acknowledge the one thing that I keep pushing as much as I can on this show. You know, you're all people. You're all individuals. You have your own thoughts, your own opinions, your own feelings. You process some things differently than others on the team would. That's kind of the thing with everybody, and you just kind of, it seems you all acknowledge and accept that and use that to your advantage to make it work, is what it sounds like.
It's not a weakness. Yeah, it's true.
No.
And the thing about that is, whenever it comes to conflict, there is no avoiding conflict. None. You're prolonging it. You're festering. The way to do it is you approach it properly. Any sort of like, even assertive communication is a very, very small form of conflict. Or even just like asking somebody for whatever. It's like, hey, could you do this, etc. Asking somebody a favor is a very small form of conflict. Now, to be able to minimize conflict is the biggest skill that we have as a team. Not avoiding it. People who like is like, oh yeah, we avoid conflict at all costs. It's like, well, no, that's not the case. We are able. Why I'm very proud to be on this team, and what I have noticed, which is different from other teams, which Astral said, is that case where, hey, something's not right. As Velvet said, we're not going to hold a grudge. We're not going to hold it for years. We're going to sit down. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to play nice about it. We're not going to be passive aggressive. We're not going to go after each other or at each other's throats. We're going to figure out the root of things and go from there. And it's never really gotten to the point where it's been bad or something.
It's never been explosive or detrimental to people's health or anything like that.
Which is amazing.
And I think it's interesting just because, so recently I had a friend pop into the server, and then the poor thing immediately left because they were super intimidated by how big the server was.
Oh shit.
But they messaged me and they were like, I don't know how you moderate like a server that big. Like, how do you even begin? And I was just like, I sat down and I thought about it for a while. I was just like, I have my team. None of us can do it on our own, but it's just like, we do our best to lift each other up. So it's just like, if I get burned out, then I feel comfortable, like just totally comfortable stepping back, taking a breath. Others can handle it. Like, we all lend each other a helping hand on that. And then we just kind of rotate in terms of just giving each other breaks and lifting each other up. And if somebody's not feeling okay, like on any particular day or week or even a month, it's just like, we do our best to kind of allocate our strengths where we can have them, but we also boost up our people who are going through a rough time. I was mentioning to Ashley a while back that the server has kind of seen me like at my best and at my worst. I very, very soon after joining the HuniCord and joining the staff team and everything, I was at a very, very low point in my life. I was unemployed. I couldn't find a job. I couldn't go through college because I was just so worn out and depressed all the time. And it was the teamwork that really, it gave me something to focus on in kind of that worst part of my life. And it's genuinely been such an incredible support system, like bigger than anything I've had. Because I've made friends like with my entire staff. Just I was mentioning to somebody the other day, it's just the best support I've felt in my life. Truly, everyone on the team is just a spectacular person, and we've helped each other through a lot of rough stuff. On top of just shit posting and memes and stuff. I know I was having a hard time last night too, but I kind of briefly mentioned it, and everyone on the team was just like, oh, hey, like, just shooting off messages of just total affirmation and love, and I was just like, I feel so supported. It's been such a blessing being on this team, because that is, I feel like, what sets us apart as a team, is that we are there for each other. We lift each other up when we're not feeling great. Even if it's just something stupid, like I fucking stubbed my toe on a Lego or something. I feel comfortable coming into the chat and saying, man, today fucking sucks. And then just getting love and respect and shit posting and just feeling better with my family, like my little family on this corner of the internet. And I just love you guys a lot.
Aw.
Wow.
Astro, that's pretty fucking gay.
Hell yeah, it is,
we do that
bitch.
too.
No kidding.
We deflect. We
We've
deflect.
definitely put up a really good support system.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I would agree as well. Like there have definitely been times like, I don't think there hasn't been a time where I haven't had some squabble with another team member, but like I think the thing that's kind of special is that like I even if I had that kind of squabble, like for the most part, like I've always been able to come back and like help someone if they needed help. Whether it be with a moderation thing or like a more IRL thing. Like this is more or less a meme now, but one of the most batshit insane things I did is that Hellboy was going through a breakup in the early part of 2020.
Mm.
So it was like right near PAX East weekend. And I was like, hey Hellboy, you want to go to PAX? He was like, but I live in Ohio. And I'm like, you want to go to PAX? And so I drove 15 hours to pick up Hellboy, and then drove 15 back. So then we went to PAX because all my friends were like going to PAX, and some friends from like my hometown were coming up as well. And so we went to PAX, and then I drove 24. Then I drove another 12 hours to get him back, and another 12, and then 12 to get myself back before work that day.
Jeez.
You must have
And then I
already.
did it again, but this time it was 30 hours, and then I drove to Posh, and I did that twice, and now he lives with me.
Oh my god. It sounds like you already put, in the span of like one weekend, a full oil change worth of miles on your car.
Yes.
Oh
for
my God.
for Posh, because I went there twice to help him get out of a bad situation. I had to get like 4 oil changes. It's like
Jesus.
3,000 miles
Holy
because I
shit.
drove from Massachusetts to Texas.
Oh my
I was
god.
still surprised.
Jesus.
I was DMing Velvet about this, and it was just like, oh yeah, you guys are just moving up. It's like, oh yeah, where are you from? Because I thought, my mind was just like, oh yeah, Velvet lives in Illinois. That's pretty far. from Texas, but okay. It's I'm like, oh yeah, have a good drive. It's like, are you still on the road? It's been a day. It's like, oh yeah, I drove from Massachusetts, and my mind blown. But yeah, that's what we do for each other.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I like to threaten them now, and they know it's not a threat.
Yeah,
It's
we
a
just,
promise.
we just ride or die for each other.
For real.
No kidding, damn. I've only had one chance to be able to do anything like that, and that was when I was actually on vacation to Los Angeles a few weeks ago, and I finally got to meet Aiden. You know,
Yeah.
first of all, my co-host on this show, and second of all, one of the other members of the Insanimators, the other podcast. And when I was just like, I gotta make this happen, and when we meet up, we have trouble finding each other because he has me meet him at a freaking mall, over like halfway between Los Angeles and San Diego, and we're trying to figure out, okay, where are you? You see this big building? I was like, this is our first meetup. We're trying to freaking coordinate what side of the mall we're meeting on. And what do? We go through the mall and look at a bunch of freaking high-end fashion stores like Gucci and freaking Versace.
Hell yeah.
I will flex. I will flex really quick.
Oh god.
That I got to meet Aiden before Ark did.
Yes.
Wow.
You and Plastic, which ended up in disaster because of Delta.
Yes, Plastic. Luckily things were funded, but Plastic was done dirty by Delta. American Airlines, my sweetheart. Only
Don't
crushed me
like
in the
Delta.
back.
It's terrible.
I may have developed blood clots in my legs. Yeah, this episode. Pay us money or pay Mark. I just called you Mark, which is
Give us money.
Oh, but yeah, you guys have gone the extra mile and then some, literally, for each other, and that's it. That's with some of these conflicts that do happen. It's one of those things that I've talked with before. I've talked with Phil Toll, who he's known as the guy who saved Metallica because they almost imploded on themselves in the early 2000s. And I talked with him about it. A fair amount of talking about him was talking about conflict and working through it and, making the best work for each other. It's another thing I talked with Knox from the Lackadaisy Discord, and that conflict does inevitably happen, but you just find ways to make it work. You talk it out with each other, and it's something that does happen quite often on that inner team thing. But that's just kind of like your own circle that happens, and you guys know each other to make it work with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing, this is where the other face that comes in. Yeah, this is where the other face of being a moderator comes in that there's going to be that inevitable conflict with other members of the server. And this is where I have a little bit of personal experience, at least with one of you, because it was actually Astral that caught me on this a while back. There was a joke that I had made. It got a pretty good response from people, especially those relevant to it. And I started pushing the joke. And it got to the point where Astral had to pull me aside and say, dude, this is kind of messed up. Can you please stop doing that? And it was, I'm pretty sure it was, I feel like it might have been one of those things where it surprised Astral that I just kind of went, well, that's embarrassing. I really want to stop that now. Whereas I've had situations come up where I'm just hanging out in the Honeycord with Aiden. This was a night that I was driving home, and somebody in there takes exception to something that Aiden had said and really wanted to push that argument. And even Aiden was like, I'll have this discussion with you outside of, this channel, but right now we're all just here trying to relax. And it got to the point where we had to call in May to, help out with getting it resolved. And the guy just wanted to keep pushing, even though May was telling them, dude, stop. How often do you guys have to deal with that on a regular basis with the Honeycord?
Yeah.
Pretty much regularly.
Yeah,
regularly,
like at least a few times a week.
That's I don't want to call the person the archetype for the person who does that without continuing to push the narrative without like without pretense
Mhm.
and without anything else. The archetype name is just it's not Alistair Kitty, it's just asshole.
Yeah.
Which I thought was funny. But
I mean,
no,
Velvet, you're not
just,
wrong.
You're not wrong, but it's also
You're
asshole.
really
That's very fun. I'm holding it back. But
No,
no,
Meg and I were talking about that though. We were just like, why are all? Because Meg texted me the other day and was like, why are all the Alistair Kinnys creeping on me? I was like, Meg.
Every
Yeah.
time.
And it's interesting. We notice trends and stuff, but like
Uh.
I think of all the types of things that go on, it's a tie between that and people just randomly posting just abhorrent shit in the memes channel. And by the way, the reason why we keep that, you mentioned how memes are important for this community, Ashby's community.
Mhm.
That's the reason why we keep it. That's the reason why we haven't pruned it. Just in general, was
Because I remember, because Newt mentioned at a meeting once, he was just like, yeah, in the lack accord, we kind of, have strayed away, like, we keep away from the whole, like, super meme culture, and I remember all of us were sitting there at that meeting, and we were just like, well, yeah, it can be difficult to moderate sometimes, just because people often take jokes a little bit too far, and will also just sometimes go wildly off the deep end in the memes channel, and that's why I'm up to like frickin' 3 a.m. But but no, we all agreed, we were just like, no, the meme culture in the server is just as important to us. It at some points just as much as the user interaction. Just because like we all shit post, we all use that to communicate, we all use that like
inside
to
jokes.
just
Inside
totally
Yeah,
inside
absolutely.
jokes. Yeah.
and for everybody, and that's betters the community. It's like, oh, here, I know this one thing that's really funny.
I'm
And
like, I
so,
think
yeah, there's people who abuse it, but it's not that often.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
It's regular, but it's like okay.
In
Compared to normal activity, it's good.
comparison to everyone else, yeah, definitely. We usually only get like one or two people who really kind of not do that, or like we only have like one or two people who will kind of go nuts in the Goofs channel like every day. But yeah, it's definitely very, very low in comparison.
I
But
think
I was
with
gonna
Newt,
mention-
like besides the meme stuff, part of what like helps us, and like part of the reason that we really started working with Newt a lot more is learning how to cultivate a community that will essentially that will moderate itself. I think is pretty much how he described it. Is while you definitely need the moderators there. Ideally, you want a community that the members themselves want to protect, and therefore, like, very rarely will you honestly need to put the boot down on or in an ideal situation, and the honey court has definitely moved towards this style of moderation. Very rarely do you need or want to put the boot down. Ideally, you want your members to be putting their foot down on people who are acting up.
And it was like, and I actually have seen this a lot recently. I've had people message me on occasion, just like ping me in the middle of the night being like, hey, we got another raider, or hey, we, like there's somebody just not stopping in the general chat. But it's like, generally they're very good about, just total shout out to a lot of our regulars, in the server. Just, they've been great about if somebody is just going completely off the deep end in the general chat, taking some memes like way too far, then they're good about being like, hey, this is probably not, the greatest space for that. Let's take it back a bit. And then I'll pop into the chat like a couple of minutes late, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that already took care of itself. All right.
Case in point, what Newt was trying to impart on us worked.
Oh, for sure.
And it is continuing to work.
Yeah.
So yeah, just building an organic community, one that lives and breathes and has a defense mechanism, which is itself.
Yeah. We kind of talked with him on that, because he said he wanted to cultivate the type of community. I forget what the general term is. Like, you I think it was something to do or close to the saying, like, you dress for the job you want, something similar to that idea. You attract the type of people that I can't remember how it goes. But you're basically, you're making the community for the people you want. And those people that you want will come to that community and be a part of it. And they will, in turn, start attracting others, that want to be a part of that kind of community.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So it sounds like that's kind of what Newt angled the Lackadaisy Discord to be. And with his help, that's kind of what you guys are going for with the Honeycord now.
Mm-hmm. And I've really appreciated it. So just again, with seeing the server, since it was only like 50 people, it's been incredible just watching our system develop over the past few years. I remember when I first joined, there were no moderators. It was just Ashley, and it lasted a couple of months, and then people started flooding in more and more, and Ashley was like, hey, we need a mod team. And so I had never really moderated a ton before. Like, I'd moderated for a tiny server, but only for a little bit. And I was like, hey, I'd be willing to help out if you want. And so a bunch of us were just we went in, we didn't really know what we were doing. And and I think, so our original, I always mention this, and it's just so funny to me now. We have some of our ancient documents, TM, I have a little file folder on my computer, and we have a strike log document for handling users and stuff, but it's on a Google Doc.
That shit's so old. That was there before I was even on staff. So seeing that, I was like, holy shit!
Oh my god!
It was just Hellboy and me, and Lucy, and
Vel was also on that.
Velicus joined about a little later. So I think he joined I can't remember if it was before you, Luigi. I think it was.
It was absolutely before me.
It was before you. It was I think it was about a year into it. So we kind of developed the bare bones of a system by then. And then Velicus joined, and more people started coming onto the team. But when it was kind of just the first mods, we just really didn't know what we were doing. And it was Shy. It was Mama Shy who made all these fancy little documents for us, and it was definitely very interesting trying to figure that out. We kind of were thrust into the deep end from the get-go, but it's just been incredible lately seeing kind of how it's very, very tightly organized. We have a system now, and sometimes I'll just think about 3 years ago when it was pretty crazy, and we were still we would debate for a long while, I don't know if that deserves a strike, and then how many days until this person's thing is up, and then I don't know, I lost my place on the Google Doc again. It was definitely very challenging, but it's just been incredible to see our very super bare bones system evolve into this super tight and organized system, and the updated rules, the updated FAQ, just everything. It's been amazing just seeing it grow from that tiny little seed that we were trying to grow, and none of us knew what we were doing, so we're just I don't know, we fucking hope it grows.
Okay, so you guys have witnessed a lot of growth in this community, and you guys have helped a lot with a lot of the growth. Where do you guys feel the community is now, and what do you guys think is going to be happening with community in the future going forward?
Oh, chaos.
Oh,
Oh,
great.
Oh,
Lovely.
absolutely.
Lovely. Not
Of
like the
course.
unorganized. Well, chaos itself is unorganized, but just oh my god, these. I'm sorry. I want to mention this. While this is going on, people are flooding like the general chat for the server for the Honeycord, and like there was a section at the beginning of the server where let me just scroll up here. I again I wasn't there. This happens with us all the time. This happens everywhere, but it just grows into cacophony of just weird. Hang on, I'm buying time to scroll up to this.
Oh yeah,
because
no,
my,
it's
my,
Distraction,
my
go.
like
feeble fingers
distraction.
cannot.
Padding,
do this.
padding, padding.
Yes. There we go.
Sometimes it gets super fucking crazy in the server. Sometimes like general chat will be flying off the walls,
I
but
have
then
seen
it's
it.
like, oh,
Especially
dude.
during a honeycast or
I
when
was
we
being
did
insulted,
openings.
and I wasn't even there. Like, what was it? Was it Dave is Saucy's alt, which is because I sound a lot like Dave, which is
Oh, yeah.
true. I now readily admit it. Saucy is Dave's Echo Fighter. I don't know. I did the Bite of 87. I didn't create FNAF, but FNAF created me. I'm pyrocynical. I'm how to basic. I'm bald. I'm bald.
What the
Yeah.
hell?
Bald, wow.
And that turns into I'm Doug Walker, the nostalgia critic.
Oh God.
That's just an example of within the span of 2 minutes. Okay, so the answer truly, it's going into chaos, and I've seen this same kind of attitude has been adopted from group to group to group of regulars. I've seen probably
We in the community take our moderators
14.
very seriously, I say.
Clearly.
I know it's like we're very respected. We are very
Who renamed Saucy? Who renamed Saucy to fucking like egg purist
Me?
on the
that
server?
was you. Because
we
doing
develop
stuff the
at
other day,
least
yeah.
we develop at least 3 inside jokes per meeting.
Jesus.
Pretty much, yeah. But
Saucy's name changes all the time.
Oh,
pretty
dude.
much.
Yeah.
I was
yeah,
gonna
I mean,
say
like,
in terms of
when they kept changing it to girl boss?
girl boss.
That was
yeah.
Meg.
oh yeah, girl
boss.
boss Saucy.
And so it's just
Being
chaos.
saucy for like 2 fucking weeks.
Yep.
Champion of the lesbians.
I never changed the nicknames that the other cast members gave me with the other podcasts. It's like the most recent one for me has become Boomer Spice. I don't remember how that name came to be, but I have not changed it because I'm like, these names
Who
are funny.
needs context?
No,
It was-
you're what's it called? You know the Spice Girls?
Oh my
You're
god.
the
God.
oldest one, so
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
Boomer Spice.
I think I don't remember if it was something to do with the Spice Girls or if it was something to do with Old Spice, but either way.
Either
Could
way, it
be
fits
both, you never know.
jokes.
But yeah, I was gonna say in terms of like where the server is moving in the future, so just recently, for people who don't know, we did make the server public about a month or so ago. And it was hellish trying to deal with the waves of people coming in. We were getting just hundreds of thousands, or like we were just getting thousands of people like in on a couple of days, and then we started trickling down to only a couple hundred people joining. Yeah, that was a week. But it's tapered down, so we kind of have been fluctuating between about 11,020 to 11,060 users on the server for the past month or so, I'd say. In terms of how that's been, it's been nice because it has settled down. Unfortunately, we have gotten quite a few raiders, but
Yeah.
they're very quickly dealt with, and so
it comes
it's
with
kind
the
of
server
just
being open, yeah.
it's kind of just an annoying, like, Brandon and I looked over the other day and we saw like 4 people join, and Brandon was like, hey, so I think these people might be trolls. They all just joined this the voice chat at the same time. They fucking, like, as soon as we joined, they were stuttering, and they were, obviously like young teenagers, tweens, pretty
You can
much.
see where this is going.
And they all were just like, Kyle, and then they just like flipped the salute.
And then me and Alien banned all of them.
I don't know. I think Saucy managed to
Actually,
grab a
I have the
Saucy-
quickest gun in the West whenever it comes to white supremacists. So I just
Yeah, no.
Oh, you got
I
that
did
one.
it.
I think me and Alien got the other
Yeah,
three.
it was
Okay.
a different incident. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
Saucy and I were there. I tried to ban one of them, and Saucy had already banned all fucking four of them.
Jesus.
in one go.
Really
Quickest
are
gun
the
in the West, man.
those really
I was
are the
like,
fastest hands in the West.
It's true. And
But,
no,
yeah,
we were
no,
just sitting
so-
there, and so we get incidents like that.
We
Other
were
servers
just
get them
chilling.
better too. Yeah, we just showed up, and they showed up in the smallest voice chat, and so we just I saw that Astra was in there, but there was an open slot, and I'm like, I don't want anybody taking that, so I'm like, I'm gonna hop in. So we just sat there. The encounter lasted 30 seconds at most for a raid we've ever had. By a raid, I mean like one or two individuals. Like
Pretty
we have,
much. It's
we
like
have
we
procedures up. Yeah.
It's
Like,
just
it's not
like,
gonna
and
happen.
plus our I think even though Ataja didn't catch a few things, it's usually pretty good at catching
That's the bot, by the
spam.
way.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's our bot that we what did we rename
Our
it?
unpaid
The
intern?
Newt bot.
Unpaid intern, Newt
The
bot.
unpaid
Newt
intern.
bot.
Yeah, we the bot usually is pretty good about catching things, but even if it's not working for whatever reason, people are usually good about pinging any of us who are online, and then we can deal with it in like less than 30 seconds. And it's just kind of it's like a flicking a fly away, and you're just like, that was a part of the day, I guess. For the rest of the server types of stuff, like it's generally just a very nice community.
Very.
Even though we have been open, like I think that's pretty much the worst we've gotten, and it's not been bad at all.
So yeah.
But yeah, I think just kind of going forward, I mean, we'll probably hit fluctuations when we are hoping sometime soon, at least by the end of the year. I can't, my hands are a little tied here. I can't really talk about like far-fetched stuff, but in terms of when there is eventually a far-fetched HuniCast, I do anticipate our numbers will fluctuate because of that.
Absolutely.
But since we just brought on 9 more people if you include Pink coming back, which we do.
That was a surprise.
We fucking love Pink so much.
We do love
We do.
Pink is my wife.
Isn't Pink like
I have
10
a-
people's wives?
Yeah.
Mhm.
With Envy/Chloe and Pink.
We stand polyamory in this house.
My boyfriend thinks it's very hilarious that I have a harem in the server. But yeah, no, we I think just going forward, like we have 9 more people on the staff team now. We're going to be training people this week, but I'm very optimistic in terms of what we can handle, just because of the system I mentioned earlier, where if somebody's not having the greatest day, like it's totally fine to just step back, take a mental health day. Everyone else can handle it.
Absolutely.
Because there are so many of us now.
Yep.
So
I think that quickest ban thing in the West just reminded me of back when we still had honeycasts going on. And like I remember many times in the chat management, it's just like I keep trying to do things, but it just keeps saying handled by another moderator,
I know, it's fucking
by
annoying.
shots.
I have that same issue on BBU streams now, and I have to yell at everyone for it. I'm like, God damn it, you're not
Good.
supposed to be faster than me.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, no, we do that. And so whenever Ashley did like stream on the HuniCast more frequently, and sometimes like even in the Twitch chats, like when Velvet Posh and I are moddering for Michael's streams as well, sometimes it'll just be like I'll reach to click on something to like delete it or put a user on like timeout for a little bit, and it's already done, and I'm just like, holy shit.
Yeah, Posh is really fast.
Oh yeah, Posh is incredibly
I
fast.
believe it. So
He's
that'll,
like,
that'll reach
Acronyms.
into another angle of moderating as we get to the last like half hour of this. The YouTube and Twitch side of the HuniCast. That I feel that I would assume that has a little bit of a different moderating energy because it's not.
Does.
Yeah, it's not. You're watching people just bullshitting in a chat room, on some chat room app. You're watching a live stream feed of people throwing their, opinions and comments and such into a stream. Whether or not they get buried in 2 seconds because there's that many people in chat, you still got to watch all of it. And part of it, I assume, gets maybe a little overwhelming, at least with the main HuniCast streams. But then you get to the Twitch streams that Ashley does, and there's still a fair amount of people in there, but much more manageable. But one thing I definitely notice is, first of all, a lot of people still pushing the "Oh Ashley" joke, even though in my opinion, that's become very old very quickly.
Oh, very.
We're
much so.
trying to kill the meme.
Oh,
Yeah.
we are trying
It
very
is-
hard.
Honestly,
It is-
been successful.
We don't
It's,
actively try. That's a losing battle.
Right.
However,
It really is
sure.
because I
Yeah.
went to the panel on Saturday when they were in Houston.
Mhm.
First thing I fucking heard when I walked into the panel was "Oh Ashley," and I wanted
God
to straight
damn
up
it.
leave.
That's kind of the other thing that I realized about it when I see all these people trying to push the "Oh Ashley" joke, but then I just watch Ashley just continue on doing her thing like she doesn't even notice, even though she does
Right.
notice some people's comments in there. I feel like she's I've actually asked Michael this once before. Has Ashley grown like this sort of like tolerance or immunity to the "Oh Ashley" joke? And the last answer I got, this is before they moved, was kind of. And now
Yeah, I
to
was gonna say it definitely depends on who it's coming from too. Just because, like, if it's coming from from fucking Monica, doing like the total out of nowhere like woo. Sometimes it does get very like it'll fluster Ashley just a little bit, but it's just like if it's just random like fans or whatever just being like, "Oh, Ashley's just like, God damn it, not again."
Right.
It's true, and it's just like you wouldn't want some rando it's like the equivalent. I know that they are completely different things, but it's just like some construction worker catcalling you from the street, and
Is it
It
different?
is flirting.
Because like it's very
know,
it's
the
well
more I say it, I'm like,
intentioned
huh.
and it
Of
stems
course.
from an inside joke, of course, but it's also just like it's guys, you're not
It's
going
a
to
little
suddenly
too much.
you're
and
not going
I-
to suddenly fluster our
Mhm.
boss here.
I do imagine too it gets a little bit more old whenever the first thing you've heard, like if you're working with somebody professionally and the first thing that they say to you in a professional setting is that
Yeah.
may get like that does cause a little bit of like issues where it's just like, oh, okay, that's the first interaction this person or knowledge of me is this, and it's just like, oh gosh, that's a little one
Immediate red
embarrassing and
flag.
too weird.
Mhm.
Very much. And so
Very
it's just like,
embarrassing
wow.
for sure.
So that's why it's kind of been on the out for a long time, and it is pretty much out the door. There are people kicking and screaming at it, but it's gone.
Mhm.
It's going out to go get milk, and it's not coming back.
Jesus.
Sounds like my dad. No,
Oh my
You didn't have
God.
to say it was implied.
I'm just like
Oh my
disclaimer.
God.
My
Wait,
dad did
that's-
not run away. He's still
That's
here.
such
I
a good
promise.
one. That reminds me when we were playing
Oh,
a,
poor Mike, hang on.
a Jackbox game, and we were doing Survive the Internet, and one of them was it was like the check-in one, and it was like Dad go come home, and the check-in tip was Pasha's house.
Oh god. Also, I will mention that Velvet has been having a little bit of mic issues, so occasionally we'll sound like
Yeah.
you were being swallowed by Velvet.
It's like that
Is-
robot.
Is my mic being
where you
bored?
literally
Yeah.
can't understand a word they're saying.
Mike Vore.
God damn it, we swear every single fucking conversation we either wind up mentioning Vor or Piss one or another.
Every single time.
Every
my
goddamn
God.
We gotta
Oh,
stay
no.
on brand though.
This isn't
I
even
was-
a meeting.
Does it sound better?
No,
It's not
I
a
was
meeting.
mentioning I was mentioning because a lot of people, like, even on the staff team, sometimes they'll be like, ooh, big scary admin chat. Our admin chat with Ashley is just a bunch of simping over werewolves and fucking, like, talking about Vor and Piss and, like,
not like actually, not like an in-depth, like, this is the council, we're talking about this literally. No, it's not.
We
as bad
literally
as you think
just
it is.
fuck around.
Yeah. And of course, I'm saying from third person, I'm not in there.
Yeah. It's just like, Saucy, what the fuck?
I've
I've
heard the
actually
stories.
been in there the entire time. Oh yeah.
Saucy, stay away from the pinned messages in the admin chat.
You will never.
I'm
know.
already looking at them. You can't stop me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's kind of. Again, it's like with people being like, "Oh, so scary." It's like, we're really not. We just shitpost a lot.
For reference, Astral did say, and I quote, "I want to shove my hand in Warren's mouth" one time.
Okay, listen. That was because
what a good segue away from that.
He has sharp teeth. We're gonna segue away from.
Yeah.
So, the moderating the Twitch and YouTube streams, what kind of process does that take in contrast to moderating, getting ready or doing the job of moderating in the Discord?
Oh, I was gonna say, while we were fucking around, I came up with an analogy for this. Basically, it's like the difference between like a long distance marathon and a sprint.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So it sounds like a hell of a lot more effort in a much shorter time, whereas everybody else is just kind of casually going along.
Yeah.
In the Discord.
And it's not like 100% people are there, 100% people are on the server at that time too. Whenever activity spikes for a Twitch stream or for a HuniCast or any YouTube thing, whenever it even spiked during the far-fetched first teaser kind of short release, activity in the server goes up a lot, and so we really need to just look on all angles of that. So not everybody will be sitting there looking at chat.
Yeah, we're usually pretty good about allocating our sources in terms of like some people will be kind of in charge of watching the server, some people will be in charge of watching the Twitch stream, stuff like that.
Correct, and it is all practicality and also ability, like or just also like technical aspects, like have you been authorized to do that? Like is actually like oh whoops, I forgot to add you or whatever, here you go,
which happens more often than not.
It takes I'm still not able to help out directly with the YouTuber or
are you fucking kidding?
I need to talk to her about
I'm gonna have to go yell at Ashley.
Yeah.
I love how something before it just never happened.
That's another thing. So sometimes some of us will just be like, oh yeah, okay, it's your turn to like go yell at Ashley, and I'll just like I'll just like slip my head into her DMs and be like, "Hey, bitch, I know you're busy. Can I steal some of your time? Love you, bitch." And she's totally cool about it though. She'll be like, "Oh shit, yeah," because again, we all have ADHD on the fucking staff team, including Ashley. So we're good about reining each other in terms of that, including our own boss.
Oh yeah.
Yelling at each other to sleep, including our own boss.
Yeah.
She never does.
Oh yeah.
She never does.
I don't think she slept in weeks.
Probably not.
Nope.
Oh, that's a terrifying thought.
Oh yeah, no, she's actually right behind you. Right now. I'm not just talking to you, Morgan. No, I'm talking to everybody listening to this too.
Brandon, do not do that to me, because she literally lives only an hour away from me. That is very much in the realm of possibility.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Okay.
Saucy, stop trying to scare the people watching.
It'll increase viewers.
I was gonna mention though, but just like in terms of kind of handling that, we're good at kind of like allocating and stuff, and kind of communicating with communication. Communicating with each other. We'll relay information to each other while this is happening. We relay information to Ashley and Michael, just to make sure that things are flowing as smoothly as they can. So that's just kind of how it goes with modding streams. it gets very chaotic very quickly, but thankfully they usually don't last longer than, like 3 or 4 hours or whatever. So
I
we're
remember
good.
having to DM Ed during when they were doing the charity for his mom.
Oh
You're
yeah.
just like, guys, Ed, please, they can't use the PayPal. Ed, you need to fix it.
Yeah.
I remember that I got blocked by that fucking PayPal
Well, and
Mhm.
Hellboy
for a
and
few
I,
minutes.
I don't know if anyone here remembers the Cat Cafe stream.
I
The
do.
Vaguely.
Cafe. Yeah, we so it was, I think it was Luigi, were you on the team at that time?
No, but that's when the Mama Luigi meme was born.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. But I remember Hellboy and I were modding that stream, and we were like feeding some of the donation requests to Ashley and Michael. But again, we didn't really have much of a system back then, so it was very much a chaotic nightmare. I think Hellboy and I lost a couple of years off our lifespan, but it turned out to be a very, very smooth stream because like we were bouncing around like fucking maniacs trying to get everything.
Shit.
But yeah, no, it turned out great, and we were super satisfied with just the end result of that stream. It was a great time for all of us. Like, it's kind of similar to when I used to be on the swim team. It's super chaotic in the heat of like when you're going for a sprint, but it's just like when you get to hang out with your team afterwards, it's just, you're like, man, we fucking did that. It just feels very good.
So at what point did you guys, at what point do you guys think you guys finally figured out how the system, works well for the streams?
For the streams.
When I keep seeing handled by Pashas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I
Meg.
was gonna say, I think for the streams we have less of a system just because, they don't happen as often.
Right.
But I think in terms of feeling comfortable moderating streams, I think just in the recent year and a half or something like that, we've gotten better about like Ashley will give us a heads up instead of dropping it on us like, hey,
We have a
surprise
HuniCast today.
She would do that.
Ashley, please
You
have
said
to
that,
work.
and I was zoning out, and my mind immediately went "fuck." And
Yeah.
I have never. My heart rate has never increased so quickly. I was on topic. I was like following along, and I zoned out for half a second, and you said that.
Hey, we have a HuniCast
Oh my
today, Saucy.
god. Yeah, so as you can tell, it's still a little hectic whenever that happens. We're like, okay, everybody, code blue coming through.
Fucking code purple.
Code
Code
purple. But yeah,
Code purple.
she doesn't drop it on us as much anymore. She'll be like, oh hey, so guys, I'm going to be doing like a HuniCast about a week from now, and we'll be like, oh thank God,
I'd imagine that's the case.
God, we have warning.
Yeah, because at this point now she's got people coming onto the show that she kind of has to coordinate with, which basically requires, hey, advance notice.
Oh, for sure. And it's like, even
That does
for,
not mean she'll remember to give us advance notice.
for the Twitch streams, she hasn't given us as much advance notice, and that's totally fine just because they're a lot more chill. But it's like with the HuniCasts,
They're a lot smaller.
we definitely do need time to prep for those just because there's a lot of people really, really quickly.
Code color.
Yeah.
My process for like preparing for HuniCast was just like, all right, so I'm gonna order some nice fettuccine Alfredo, so I have all of my calories for the day. I'm gonna put it right in front of my computer,
Shit.
and then I'm not gonna move for 12 hours.
Make
I'm
it
gonna
a
pull out
fancy
Embry
day.
and sit in
Literal
the
meditative
ground.
state.
I think,
yeah.
well, in one of our, so Velvet, in one of the more recent streams that we've modded for Michael, I remember like, I went and I made some tea. I made a whole bowl of popcorn, like full bag, and just like curled up under my favorite blanket, and I was just like, fuck yeah, ready to go, nice and comfy. So it's kind of also just like important to get yourself in kind of the right mindset before going into a stream, because not only okay, I know this is totally
No, it's fine. Continue.
gearing up.
I'll elaborate after. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god, Saucy.
Is it because you're looking at stream
No,
chat?
no, what's it called? I muted for just a split second at the beginning of the stream. Just because my dad, who just got out of the hospital, God love him, just passed like a lollipop that he got at the hotel gift shop. Just to me, and I'm like, thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go back to this goodbye. And I'm like, oh my god, I love my dad. And then
Aw.
it's curled in a way, and I'm like, okay, this is bubblegum flavored. And I look at it, and because it was folded in a way, it just says bubblegum. To which I've been stopping myself. I've been pinching my nose while Astra was speaking that entire time, burying my head in my lap.
Yeah, no, you've just been an
Oh my
extra
God.
giggly bitch today.
I have. I'm sorry.
Saying
that was,
earlier,
that was
no,
my thing.
don't be
it
sorry,
bubbled over
it's
at the last
hilarious.
second. It's fine. It's cool. Oh
But-
my god, long boy.
God.
Boogaloo.
Ow.
Oh, Luigi, don't fucking send shit like that.
Why not?
You're
It's
gonna make Saucy,
for context,
you're gonna
everybody.
make
It's
Saucy
Tubaloo.
giggle.
No, listen.
I'm scared.
Okay,
What
but
the fuck is Tubaloo?
Okay, let me elaborate.
This is stick bug on a new level.
A dear moderator friend on the BBU team, his name is Pop fucking Punk Gaming, and he has his own game, which I mentioned earlier. I can't talk too much about it. However, Tubaloo is supposed to be a enemy in said game, and he is just full of anxiety, and he will fuck you up.
This is terrifying
Me
to look
too.
at. Oh my
Great.
god.
I like him.
it looks like a cross between like a stick bug and Baldi's Basics.
We actually had an idea where he would move kind of like the stick bug if he was just standing still.
Oh my
Like
god,
his
I
idle
love that.
animation would just be the stick bug thing.
It's just
I adore that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, anyways, like I was mentioning, Saucy's an extra giggly bitch today.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's cute. But yeah, I was gonna say in terms of like stream prep and all that jazz, we have a system where we bounce back and forth, we relieve each other. It's like we tag team each other out, and you know, sometimes it's just important to like grab a bowl of popcorn or candy or whatever the fuck you want, and just sit down with it and chill.
mm-hmm. Especially after the Alistair cast, that with how long that went.
I still have nightmares.
threatened to fight Ed after that. That was a fun time.
Yup.
Alien wanted to
I
throw
don't
me.
remember that because I think I willfully block it from my memory.
That's fair.
Was that the
Actually, I think I mostly remember being in call with like Mon and Gam and I think Saucy and a few others
Mm-hmm.
in like Hive Mind, and we were all just kind of sitting there crying
Oh yeah.
the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
was
Well,
that
yeah, that was the time I threatened to fire you because you were talking mad smack about me in that fucking private call.
No, that was when I interviewed Ed with
Yeah, that was the fan cord thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
God.
there too. I remember
No,
that.
you were talking shit about me, and I mentioned it to Ed, and then he's like, "Bring her in," and I'm like, "Aight."
My
Yeah,
spine got
no,
ripped out
just-
that day. It was great.
was this the
What time do you mean we were talking mad smack? We talk mad smack about each other
All the time.
was it
And
when
then that one time that we were talking mad smack, and Alien wanted to fight Ed, so we pinged Ed, or no, me and Luigi like
Yeah.
pinged Ed a bunch of times.
this was mentioned the last time I talked with Luigi and Saucy, that Alien just really wanted to fight Ed and got everybody involved, and Ed showed up, and people were trying to goad him into talking shit about Posh, and he was just like, "No, I don't want to. I like Posh."
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what
Yeah,
happened.
exactly.
Was this-
It's just like, oh yeah.
It was
something.
so
Was this-
funny
I like-
though.
I like Posh.
Was this the same incident that because one of you mentioned that Alien wanted to fight Ed after the Alistair cast? Was this that same incident?
Yes, this
Yes.
was the same
Oh,
It
day.
was,
God.
it's
Yes.
so funny too, just because. So for reference for people who don't know, Alien is like the sweetest little person ever.
Alien
like,
is. I have talked
they
with
are-
Alien. I have been in chats with Alien. I was in a voice chat with Alien when Alien was doing a stream of of some of their art, and I look at the Mothman art that they were doing. I'm like, this is stealing my heart away. This is not what a cryptid is supposed to do.
Alien's
I have
incredibly
met
talented.
Alien. I have met Alien.
genuinely
IRL.
major. Oh, awesome, lucky.
I have.
Lucky
I
bitch.
did. I have a picture of me and Alien.
Yeah, I remember.
We spent an afternoon together. I will say that everybody here is wrong. Alien is violence.
Yeah, no, it's
Sometimes-
the funniest
that
thing
is
because
true.
because genuinely they're very sweet, they're very wonderful, and we adore them. Sometimes they just got a little scary streaks.
No, they're violence. Yeah. It all comes back to that point.
What's the term for that kind of thing? Not, I always get tsundere and yandere confused.
It's like no, it's not. It's not
Neither.
nothing to that extreme, but it's just like it's basically like looking at a picture of like Kirby, but holding a knife.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
Alien is the Kirby with the knife of the staff
He
team.
said that, and
Because
sorry, somebody
Alien is
just DM'd
cute
something.
24/7, but like sometimes they just it's that image of Kirby with a knife.
No, it is. It's true. Their exterior is. It's just like their exterior is fleshy and cute, but their insides are full of dead wasps, like figs. Hi, I'm a botanist. If you're eating figs, you're eating dead wasps.
Jesus.
It's true.
Oh, man.
No, spicy. Ed roasted my persona when I think that was when the fan cord was interviewing has-been people, and someone commented start a fight about nonsense or some shit like that. So I said all of the Chicago teams suck. He went off.
Oh my god.
And I don't think I've ever cry laughed so
Not like
hard.
you were wrong though.
This
It was so funny.
This will go into the last question, or the last little bit that I want to get into with you guys, because this is something I also kind of touched on with Mama Luigi and Brandon. Brandon. Why do I keep doing that?
Brandon.
Brandon and Saucy, because everybody knows he was Saucy. I don't know how many people know he's Brandon.
It's true.
Oh
yeah, I go by both.
One thing that I kind of got into, this is definitely something that Luigi had stronger feelings on, was people that are contacting you guys because you happen to have contact with these other people that are a part of the cast. I kind of mentioned that this is like the way I see it. It's something that kind of like disregards the fact that you guys are people. You know, you are still human beings on the other side of that screen. When it's, I kind of feel like if people are kind of like, how do I put this? If they see or hear more about these just casual interactions between you guys, like, you know, this whole thing of, you know, wanting to throw hands with Ed, I can imagine Alien doing that with literally anyone else in the HuniStaff team, or just anyone that they happen to know that's not a part of the staff but are regulars in the server. It's behavior that doesn't necessarily change so much between, you know, anybody that happens to be a part of the show, or just somebody you happen to kind of know well in the server.
Mm-hmm.
But how often does that seem to happen, where you guys are constantly being used as that middleman to the rest of the people in the HuniCast?
I think it depends on the staff member, honestly.
Really?
I would say out of everyone, I would imagine that Hellboy and Luigi probably get it the most.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't really ever get it, honestly. Mostly because I'm honestly kind of shy. And there's also been like streaks where I just won't really say much in the general chats. So people don't really see me as much. I'm a little bit more of a behind the scenes kind of person, looking for things and giving my second or third opinion to help like round out if someone needs help. So I don't really ever get it, because there will be a lot of periods of time where I just don't interact.
I've been slowly getting it more and more. I agree that Luigi and Hellboy are probably the most recipients of this, but it's never usually Ashley or even Michael. For me, somehow, some way, it's mostly Dave. and
Really?
and
I can't
Ed.
imagine why.
And Ed.
I can't imagine why either. Hi, I'm not Dave Kaplan. But it's true, and like a lot of it, there was times where it was like an innocent joke or whatever. I know my friend Plastic, whenever the server opens or whenever it used to open before it was open, they would always wait in chats and just be like, "Hey, watch out for user SaucyProcess. That's Ed's alt," and I'm like, "Oh my god, you know, it's I'm
Not
like
again.
it's funny, but also like, god damn it, because I before maybe during a big server opening like 1,000 people, I would get 1 or 2 friend requests. Whenever we opened up the server the last time, like officially, I got 36 and many DMs asking, it's like, can you tell Ashley about blah 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 blah? And it was just like I stopped reporting some of that to the team because it was just like excessive. And it was just like,
it gets
so
to a
much.
point where it's just repetitive.
We definitely had to set up a thing in the fact where it's just like, hey guys, just a heads up, we're not personal messengers to like Ashley or Michael. Like, again, just a reminder, because some of you don't seem to get that sometimes. Like, talk to us first, maybe buy me dinner first, and then
Right.
talk about my boss.
I had a very recent instance.
It kind of reminds. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you go ahead. It's fine. I can wait.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I think it was about 1.5 years, almost 2 years ago, but like for some fucking reason everyone thought I was Michael, like on the server.
Hell?
And no, everyone just like messaged me being like, "Oh, hey Michael, can you like do this?" And I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? So I go to Michael and I text him and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I like steal your PFP and then rename myself so that I look like your identical clone? And then people get even more confused. But no, the second I did that, everyone stopped mistaking me for Michael, and I was like, what the fuck? This had the
exact opposite of what you wanted.
Pretty much. It was just funny as fuck. I don't know how it happened.
Something went really fucky in that logic.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, anyways, Luigi.
I had a fairly recent interaction on Twitter. I won't talk about it too much, but like back when the server was still closed, I had a DM on Twitter and they were like, "Hi, I love your art." And I was like, "Hey, thank you." And then they were like, "Can I have an invite to the server now?" And I was like,
yeah, I remember that.
Like, I appreciate
wow.
it, but you gotta wait until it's open.
Damn.
Well, it was like, oh geez, I won't go too much in depth about this because I do just make sure that, you know, kind of some users get privacy in terms of interactions we've had. But oh my fucking god, I had this person come up and was like, so Michael didn't like feature my art on the stream, and I was like, okay, and then like long silence, and he was just like, yeah, and then I just went, you know, like, we're not messengers, right? And the guy just, like, immediately backpedaled, like, oh, I wasn't asking you to be a messenger. I was just like, how's your day? I don't know. And I was just like, dude, come on.
It does happen a lot, and it's just like with any, like, just mildly, like, mildly irking event, it always happens at the worst times. Like, for me, whenever all that shit happens, it's usually whenever I'm in the middle of something. One time it happened whenever I was in the middle of a dubbing session.
Oh, shit.
I had my phone on silent and I threw it across the room and I'm like, oh shit, something's wrong. And I checked it and it was one of those that I'm like, I'm done. And I just went back and I didn't even look. I turned off my phone and just threw it away because it just happens at the worst times. So you just got to be prepared for it. And that's about all you can do in those situations, I guess.
But people can still have like some level of restraint about it. Like if they wanted something like if people approach you like, how can I have a chance to get Ashley to see this art? That's kind of one thing where you can tell them just tag her on Twitter. Because she does quite often see art and retweet it.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Farfetch Twitter. Happens all the time.
Yeah, I totally just have my own spiel now where I'm like, oh yeah, just like grabs the airplane conductor batons. I'm just over here like, yes,
Twitter.
if you would like Ashley and or Michael to notice your art, please ping them on Twitter, post it on Twitter. We have a channel in the server specifically dedicated for Ashley and Michael fan art. We got all sorts of stuff, but yeah, I have a whole spiel that I do.
Airplane conductor.
Everyone, buckle your seatbelts. Yeah,
airplane conductor. What a weird, very weird way
the fucking glowy baton.
The glowy boy.
Yeah, they're not called airplane conductors, but I'm gonna call them that from now on.
When
I'm not gonna give you satisfaction. I'm not gonna tell you what they're
movie
called.
theater, we called them batons.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I was able to help facilitate a new inside joke.
Yay!
Oh my God. It's only
Yeah.
going to be me making fun of Astro for inventing the phrase airplane conductor.
Saucy, I have admin role. I can ban you.
Please do it. Oh, flags. Ooh.
Admin moves, please demote.
No, it's actually worse punishment if we keep you on the server. So yeah,
Oh, okay. All right.
you're not getting out of the basement that
I mean,
easy.
that's
but...
fair. You're just gonna have to deal with Hellboy being up in the attic instead, where he's not allowed to leave.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
It's
we hear
true.
Hellboy screaming from the attic. Sometimes I still hear his voice.
Stop telling people I'm dead.
Oh my god. Okay, so with that, I think we're gonna get into the actual closing bit now, where this is. I always fail to figure out how to put the right words when I need them.
Mood.
But this is like, I'll go through all of you guys and ask you if you have any, let's say, advice for people, whether it's interacting with mods or other people in a fan community, or with just anything in general, like life at all or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start in order of this thumbnail, and we'll go from right to left. Velvet, let's start with you.
I guess my advice for people would be just like, you just really need to remember that we are also people.
Mhm.
And I know that there's a lot of talk and stuff on social media about parasocial relationships. That can also go for when you're interacting with Discord mods. Just because like you've watched a lot of HuniCast or even Has-Been or Helliva, and you've been in these communities, that does not necessarily mean that you know us. And also on that note, just because we work for Ashley does not mean that we know Ashley very well. I talk to Ashley maybe once every couple of months, and most of that is just sending her memes. Or I think she was playing that new Pokemon MOBA with
Unite?
Posh and my boyfriend. Posh just activated. Just in the, we know. Oftentimes, we really only know as much about things as you guys do. There has been God fucking damn it, Alex, can you get that? Sorry, we have an alarm that tells us when to go to bed.
Fuck to sleep. No.
Yeah. So, like, we really only know, most of the time we really only know as much as you guys, and when we do get tidbits here and there, we obviously can't say anything about it, and most of the time we're also just going like, about it?
You just died there when you tried to...
yes.
Like... Yeah, I was...
Jesus.
I mean, because I was just like, we do occasionally have people like mention, like ask stuff about like behind the scenes for like Farfetch'd or whatever, and just like we're just like wince, shrugs. Our hands are kind of tied here, guys.
Yeah, it's like we can't do much.
Like we're not just gonna give you some special access because you're a rando behind the scenes. You're a rando. Stop asking, please.
The most I think I've ever known about Farfetch'd was getting a sneak peek at Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was it.
in the
That's
admin
out now.
chat
Yes.
in the middle of the night, Ashley will sometimes like just throw in just random teasers of Farfetch'd, and it is just the funniest thing because I'll be getting off of work. I work the late shift, and I'll just see that, and I'm like, oh fuck yeah, after work treat.
Oh yeah.
We call it
But-
good food.
Yes, exactly.
I think there's been times where Michael like gave us some outtakes from some whatever shit he's worked on.
Oh, for sure. Like that
Share
one
it,
time
but oh my god, it's
he
funny.
showed us like the stuff with Akudama Drive that one time.
God.
But yeah, no, I mean, because sometimes we do have Ashley and Michael like kind of give us stuff that, you know, is like more behind the scenes, but we don't want people to think that's like the main focus of our staff team. I think some people, like, we were kind of going over applications recently, and it's like you can kind of tell when people are just like, I want to, you know, get close to Ashley and Michael, and it's just like, guys, that's not
Yeah.
like we're kind of we have our own special like community moderating team. Like,
There's a system
but
here.
yeah, is what?
It's like there's kind of a system here. You got to actually be able to work with the system if you want to be a you know,
Right.
mod. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you can usually tell, and those things are never really deliberated on, and it's fine though.
There's a,
Everything
there's
is covered.
there's the meme requirements that we went over earlier, but there are still serious requirements because it is still
Always
something
yeah,
of a
Oh,
job.
for sure. Like,
The
if we
meme
see that somebody's
requirements
clout
that-
chasing, then we're like, yeah, no, that's
I
not
don't know if
real.
you're talking about meme requirements. Being gay and having ADHD is 100% a real requirement.
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
ADHD is just big, it's fine. Any other
it
thoughts
always
about
just
that?
works out that way.
Anything else?
I mean, I
Velvet?
guess besides that, fucking draw fan art of staff sonas, and you'll probably get farther than just trying to do whatever else.
Yeah.
I was like, I think
I started a
so-
cult based off of the Sona in the thumbnail.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in terms of like fan art for us, we super appreciate it. Like, it seriously makes our week. Like,
Seriously.
I think I can't remember. I think it might have been. So we have this just. I'm gonna shout out to like fucking Wanda. We have this user in the server called Wanda, and he is just phenomenal.
Everyone on staff, and I say this with complete seriousness, we will murder people for one though.
That is very
And,
true.
and like, they've drawn us like fan art before and stuff, and every time we're just like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, and he was talking bad about his art today, and I was just like,
No.
motherfucker, I will come over there and
We're gonna hold
embrace
your
you.
hand.
We're
I'm
all
rain
like the
down
entire
hellfire.
family.
Go right now, and I will kiss you.
You got to be
Yeah,
careful.
the entire.
You got to be
entire
careful with that.
community is
There was a video I had seen. Eminem was doing this like thing of like 5 things, like 5 facts or something like that. This was on the Letterman, I think. And one of the things he said was, if I sign a hat for you and you go and sell it on eBay, when you come home, I'm gonna be under your bed. And I saw a YouTube comment that said, okay, so now I want to have him sign a hat just so I can sell it, and he'll be under my bed.
See that's a that's a fool's mistake making that threat, because there are people that want that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was just gonna
A
say,
rookie
but
mistake, my guy.
in terms of that, we definitely appreciate it. We definitely, like, as a community, it's just nice. We're all just like a big old family. We've seen people like in the server make art of each other's sonas, and we even have a user who has made like sprite art, like amazing sprite art of not only
Yes.
the team, but of like fellow staff members, or not fellow staff members, but fellow community members, and it's just incredible. It's Wa that does that, yes?
Yeah, Wa does that.
Wa does pixel art. He also makes makes memes that genuinely make me fucking cry laugh
Oh, for sure.
consistently. He does
Again, with meme
he does
culture,
2 or 3 minute edit of honeycorp related memes.
Yeah,
I think grandfather also does that.
yeah.
I've
Yeah,
got some of his
that
memes saved.
much.
So
Uh, But yeah.
Is that your advice, Astral, or?
Oh, sorry. I totally.
It's all right.
ADHD.
Yeah,
Yep.
all of us are ADHD bitches. But yeah, I'd say something similar to just remember that we're people. We love our community. We are definitely like we're all here because we want to be here. I think it's also important to note that because I've noticed some people kind of think that when we're doing our jobs, it's a personal thing. It's never personal. Like if somebody messes up and like posts a really awful joke like in Goofs, we'll just be like, yeah, hey, can you not do that? And that's just kind of part of our routine. It's never like a targeted kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we'll have users who are repeat offenders and they're like, oh geez, now we got to deal with that again. But it's like it's never malicious in terms of like it's never personal. Like I don't go to bed thinking about, oh, user, like pony 5269, god damn it.
We don't stay awake at night thinking about people who make mistakes.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just a thing that happens. If you mess up, just kind of go ahead and go with the flow and just it happens. Like we all mess up. It's okay. Just don't think that the staff team's out to get you. I promise like that we're not. We're people too. This is our volunteer work, but we love people in the server. So
I can vouch for this with my personal experience because I am one of those people that Astral had to pull aside for that. It's completely fine to make mistakes. It's not the end of the world. One mistake doesn't make you a bad person.
No, for sure. And it's like even when I messaged you, it was never like intention to be like stop that. It was kind
Your
of
career is over.
Mm-hmm.
Joke is like I was like, oh hey, this this joke is going a little far here. Ashley mentioned it was like not. It was a little uncomfy, but it was totally like total easy fix and everything. So it was never like a personal kind of thing. But
it's just as simple as hey, you're just can you stop? That's all. And it doesn't take anything to just stop doing something that really isn't funny, isn't all that great, not getting all that much attention because of whatever it was said. It's fine. Just stop doing it. It doesn't change anything.
Yeah, no, it was kind of funny because I'd completely forgotten about it until I looked at some of her older DMs and I was like, oh, right, that did happen. And I was just like, oh yeah, we moved on with our DMs.
I imagine that happens all the time anyway, so I don't blame you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sure. I have like a bunch of random DMs with people where I'll be like, hey, like just an aside, can you do this? And then the most recent thing is just like, me and the boys at 2 a.m. looking for beans. I'm just like, I'm just totally happy.
That sounds like something Hellboy would say.
But there's DMs between me and Astral where Astral had to like correct me on something, and then it's like 20 pictures of our cats.
Yep, we engage in cat wars.
Oh god.
Mm-hmm. I just send pictures of Garfield, and then Astral cries.
I do. Well, mostly because I felt so sad the other day because I kept trying to send pictures of Sparta and Ginger, but the Wi-Fi,
so stressed.
The signal at my work was so shit that I was so sad the other day.
I know that pain.
I was like, I can't send anything.
I know that pain well.
Astral had to send me something difficult conversation, and I'm like, have you considered Garfield?
Okay.
So anyways, in terms of wrapping up that, just remember we're people. Remember that we don't take it personal. Like legit, this is kind of just why we're here. We just do that. Yeah. Sometimes.
Just a part of the job is all. Saucy.
Yeah. So since last time I kind of imparted something about like creative industry, just drive and everything. If my memory from 10 months ago is correct, which it's probably not. If you go back, I'll probably be talking about fish or something. I don't know. I just wanted to leave a more general piece of advice. And it's really, really, really simple. Every single day, say one thing positive about yourself, at least. In creative industries or just in life in general, people, like, in the grind of whatever you do, have a tendency to demean yourself, to make yourself feel way worse than you are at the time, and just kind of perpetuate suffering. I think the Buddhists got it right, where they're just trying to eliminate as much suffering as possible. They're on the more extreme end, but I think that just starting with that one little thing a day, you wake up, you can even sit in bed and be like, you know what? Even if it's as simple as, I woke up today. Okay? It's like, hey, damn, my hair looks okay today. Or, hey, I did that one thing really good that one other time. It doesn't have to be
Fucking
recent.
posh is not a substitute for water.
You just watch me, bitch.
Sorry, I forgot I wasn't muted. Posh was yelling at Daniel to drink some water because he keeps eating these jalapenos that are stuffed with cream cheese and wrapped in bacon. And he just went over and hugged Posh and was like, "That is not a substitute for drinking water."
It's not a substitute.
Just another piece of advice for the audience.
Yeah, it's not a substitute for water.
Drink water, please.
Yes, but
Water.
just start with one positive thing per day, and trust me, it'll just make you feel a lot better, and it will give you the energy to push through those hard days. Occasionally, you will have days where you just want to give up. You're like, this isn't working. You're like, maybe the next day will be fine, but right now I just feel like absolute garbage. I feel like shit. I feel like shitty. Just take a deep breath and just hold on to that. And if nothing else, if you can't think of one good thing about that, think of one good thing that somebody said about you, and hold on to it. Repeat it to yourself, because if you're denying what they're saying, I think not taking a compliment, which I'm guilty of, very guilty of, is one of the worst things you can do, because you are actively denying somebody's interpretation of you. And the first time I heard that, I teared up. I was like, oh my god. I was like, wow, yeah, it's like that's very true. So
and
if you can't think of anything, just hold on to it.
I can definitely confirm on that, just because I think so. A few years back, when, like, not long after I joined the server, I realized that, like, because when somebody was like, "Oh, hey, you look nice today," I was like, "No, I really don't." I eventually, like, started to learn to take those kinds of compliments, and nowadays I'm getting way better at taking it, in terms of, like, somebody will be like, "Hey, you look nice today." I'm like, "Hell yeah, I know I'm the sexy bitch."
I'm a sexy be like, yeah, do a little turn, do a little spin.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like dead ass that level of just those itty bitty baby steps, even though it doesn't seem like much at the time, it helps so much with your mental health.
Still steps for progress.
So,
and that time is going by faster than you think.
It's true. And hey, and if you're listening to this, how many people we got listening? What is this? Of the 11 people right now, if you can't think of one good thing right now, I just want to say this. The fact that you guys showed up, for everybody here, I'm speaking for everybody here because I know this is true. Thank you. This is amazing. You've really made our days.
Absolutely.
Okay? And that's one good thing. You did your part. You did it very well. I'm very proud of you. But yeah, that's my piece of advice. There you go.
Woohoo!
Woo! Now then.
Luigi!
Yeah.
Oh no!
Glue bitch.
I straight up thought you were gonna say Lupin for a second. And I was like, wait, what?
What? Real Lupin the Third?
Luigi
Is that the Ace Attorney?
Did somebody say Ace?
Astro
No.
loves Ace Attorney. Don't
Hey,
get
so do I now. I've
Oh,
started
man.
playing the games.
I saw that
Yeah,
earlier today.
Luigi is
Yeah.
joining my Ace Attorney train.
It's
I'm
fun.
I'm
loving
not
it.
stopping until I drag everyone into Ace Attorney.
Glue
But,
your knowledge.
Advice
As,
time.
as far as advice, I do kind of want to go into a more creative, like, stance with it. More like in the creative field. Basically, the whole point of the streams, is you're talking to people who are in different creative fields. Please don't let, no matter what social media you're on, whatever, don't let numbers affect you, no matter what you're doing. And I know that can be way easier said than done, because I've gone through this, like, whole mental thing about, I don't have enough people following me to, actually get somewhere, which is not true. And I'll say this thing that I said on the Insanimators was like, if you think about how many people actually follow you, right? Even if it's like 30 or even like 2, that's still 2 or 30 people who enjoy your content, that actually are interested in what you're making and what you're doing. So it shouldn't matter how many people are seeing it, right? And I mean, it's great to have all these millions upon millions of people or whatever having seen your stuff and actually enjoying it. But even just one person is still enough to keep you going. And that's really what should be driving you in your creative field, is my piece of advice.
Because that one person's day
think
was just
that,
made by seeing your art.
Yeah.
I think it's not even just quite that, but as we like been having this conversation, I check in and like I just kind of go and surf through the servers for a little bit, and I clicked onto to HiveMind, which is my private server that was formerly HuniStaff. And I'm just kind of like looking through it and just kind of looking at all of the friends that like I've made purely by joining this community, and like what it started as versus what it morphed into is like I have all of my friends from the HuniStaff, but like I've also met so many other like there's like 6 or 7 mod teams and I think in there now that like we were like it's not just us like me relying on the HuniStaff, it's everyone relying on each other. And there's something really special about that when you can make a community that doesn't just spread the positivity within itself, but also branches it out to other communities that can learn to help each other.
It's like, and I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am now with my writing, with like social skills, communication skills, with the friends that I have who support me every single day. Wouldn't have any like near as much of that if like without this community. So I'm very, very grateful every day for just the amount of opportunity I've been granted. It's like even being on this podcast, I made my whole week. I was just like, man, this is awesome.
Right.
That
It feels good.
We
I
get to talk about the job that we love.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the point of this
yeah.
show, is because it is about learning. Like, I chose specifically to learn from the entertainment realm, which does for me includes like YouTubers, Twitch streamers, and as we're doing today, people who work with the fan communities of whatever media it is. It could be, in a case like myself, I'm a fan of the Russian Badger. He's somebody I consider an entertainer, and all of his friends that do the videos with him, I consider them entertainers to some extent, and they also help out with that fan community there. So I've had the chance to talk with them. It's the same thing here. You guys are all people who are helping out with a fan community that is making the day of somebody every freaking day. just having the chance to go and bullshit with people about something that, you know, we all commonly enjoy. The HuniCast, far-fetched, you know, in many cases still has been. You guys do a lot of work, and it's still involved around the entertainment industry, but that's kind of the thing is I still want to learn from all these different experiences. And today there was a lot of experiences that, you know, I listened to that were just still more eye-opening moments to me. So with that, I'm really happy that you guys took the time to, you know, come onto the show and talk to me today.
Anytime.
And honestly, thank you for inviting us.
Thank you,
We're happy to be here.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So
Can I get a
Hell yeah.
final ho-ya?
Wait, can we go down the line? Hang on. Let's go down the line. Let's go down the line. I think this is a good way just to show a little camaraderie and everything. Let's just go down like the chat order. So Art, go ahead and give us a ho-ya.
You said a ho yeah?
A ho-ya.
Give us a ho-ya.
Oh ho yeah.
Woo!
Good enough.
Alright, okay. Ho-ya!
Okay. All right.
Doing Hoyas.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing ho-ya.
That's good. All right, I'll go. All right. Oh yeah.
I was trying so hard to make it not sound like that.
I'm sorry. I laid right into it. Go ahead, Velvet. I want to hear the more. It just sounded like TV set. It was great.
I love this. So with that being said, I'm going to thank everybody that tuned in to listen today. You guys all make my day, just that you show the interest to come in and learn with me on this. And with that, I bid you all a good night, and thank you all for joining.
Bye.
Everybody have a nice night.
Goodbye.
Yeah,
Good
have a
night.
great night. Good night.
Good night. Oh, just wait.